Okay, I'll do a tutorial of the game Zork. This is awesome. I already have the ROM loaded. It's for the emulators and all that. So load game, comma 8. Loads the command, games the name of the file, and comma 8 goes to device number 8, which is your disk drive. In the new versions, you have to load story, comma 8, and then run. And anybody who remembers the Commodore 64, I'm probably referring to people that are only over 30 or 35. They got fancy towards the end, or well, at some point, or whatever. You would load game, comma 8, comma 1, which would mean it's something that when you load it, automatically runs when it's finished. Kind of like the executables nowadays and stuff. And sometimes, to be fancy, sometimes they would name the file, the different files, the first file on the disk, give it a name, with the command to say, whatever the first file is on the disk, load it and run it. You would use the asterisk. Somebody just call it a store sometimes, I guess. So it would be load, open quote, asterisk, close quote, comma 8, comma 1. And that's like super high-tech fancy. It's practically like having your brain interface with the computer. Like, whoa, one line of commands? Whoa, man. What do you think of next? And here we go. Oh yeah, well, I can do a little tour, but this is going to... There's an option to emulate the drive speed to make it take as long as it took in 1984. But anyway, it's no big deal. I had going through... right here. Okay, now... we had this is how the package looked, the one that I knew and was used to in the 80s. Some deal, I forgot what it was, but somehow Commodore, I don't know what the deal was. I had a one-time reference to it, but somehow you had to go through them before you were allowed to make a version of a game that ran on their system. I don't understand the micro detail and the formalities about how does it count as one way versus the other. As a computer tech, I did work for insurance agencies. It was they don't exist over here on my end, but around Arizona, it was American Family Insurance, and I didn't understand, or I didn't know that they're independent agents. There's like licenses and structure and that kind of stuff. They own their own building or rent it out or whatever it is, but you just simply sell their insurance. Like in the same way that Albertsons sells oranges. There's no such thing as an Albertsons orange. If whoever puts out or ships and markets and sells oranges, like Dole, pineapple, or whatever. So I don't know, but that's why this package has Commodore all over it. But they never did this. Infocom was the company who did the. Okay, this is a map from port 3. Pretty cool. We had to actually write in pencil and paper every time we would go into a room. North, you're in the loud room. East, you're in the troll room. And to write it down and eventually hand piece together a map like this, but. Towards the end, they had this thing called Invisiclues that if you really stuck, and me and a few people I played the text games with, we would be stuck for years on a certain problem, and we couldn't comment on Google and that kind of stuff back in 1987. But it was fun, because sometimes I'll have a list of problems in a certain game, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and after like a year, it'll pop in my head like, "Well, wait a minute, I didn't try this." Or sometimes you'll have... which it was in this case with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll have some weird occurrence or some stupid pointless object in the game that makes no sense, and then you have another problem, and like after a year of thinking about it back and forth, you're like, wait a minute, what if I do this with this? And that feeling when you finally get, oh boy, of course in our instant gratification shooters and stuff, it's blast now and think later. So there's the book. Krill was used in I guess the official, not exactly, but yeah, kind of pretty much official Zork 4, 5, and 6 were Enchanter, Sorcerer, and Spellbreaker. And Zork 3 has a point where you turn some dial and it goes to 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the first 3 take you back to Zork 1 and 2. 3 is there to get back, I guess, or something, how it works. And Zork 4 has a sacrificial altar. Well, they made Enchanter that has a sacrificial altar in it, so arguably it's Zork 4, 5, and 6. Oh, here's a guy talking. I found this on the net. I was googling stuff. You just sit there with a little 300 baud telephone modem and type it on like GetNap. I feel old. It's like, bumping on 8-track or something like that. We're using a mimeograph machine. Zork Nemesis is one of the more recent ones, like in the 90s or something. This is a piece of the Zork 1 map, and I googled it. This is basic. Okay, basic with a tier S80. Yeah. Sometimes they call them a trash 80, but I don't know what the beef was with the system and all that. Radio Shack. eBay clips the one he had. It's a map. It's cooler this way. It isn't just dull black and white. It's imposed little folklore. It's like a cloth map or something. Yeah, these systems. This is close to what it looks like. It might be exactly the VT100. They call them dumb terminals. There was no architecture or hardware or CPU inside the machine. Just the minimal components inside to connect remotely to this gigantic server. Mainframes and all that kind of stuff, or maybe one way or the other, but maybe not in every case, but a server nonetheless. And every time you typed, it sent each keystroke over the network, processed it in the mainframe, and it sent the results back to you. That was a big deal. I remember in my college years in the 90s, when Windows 95, there's an app called Hyperterminal, which Windows still might have or something. Well, you had to do all these tricky things to get into our accounts, our student accounts in the lab. And one of the options we had to set it to was to emulate VT100, nature, protocol, whatever, because we were getting more modern to where that was old news. But to remote connect and all that, there wasn't a big reason to upgrade it. Whatever, that's where everybody got on the internet, and then the university got more funding, and there's newer systems to put in. But it's just a little bit of a flashback thing to emulate VT100 dumb terminal. Close up of the logo, pretty cool. Okay, yeah, I found a Zork reference to here, and I was looking at it. Okay, see if our boy loaded. Alright. Now, this library picture. That rock. Okay. Now, the keyboards, the keys on the keyboard of the Commodore 64 doesn't match everything. If I want to do a quote, I have to do Shift 2. Well, on this keyboard, it's an @ symbol, but in the Commodore days, the Commodore keyboard had a quote above the 2. And they don't allow this in the emulator or provide any provision for it, which I think sucks. Of course, beggars can't be choosers. One guy got around the internet, he mapped out basically a visual translation. So if you print out paper, buy your keyboard. If you want to do something in the Commodore, you can look at the paper and look back, Or if you have an old Commodore, buy you a photograph or something. But you can do, the Commodore sign, I think 1, but on this keyboard it's going to be tab 2. You can go all white, which is gleaming, glaring, So you have commands, you just type in, open mailbox. Oh, made a mistake. Alright. Oh boy, it emulates, come on, I forgot about this. It goes to show you how old I am and how far ago this was, long ago this was. On the actual disk drive, it would spin with the disk, the floppy that you could remove, and I had the 5/1/4 inch. One of my fellow nerds who had it introduced me to Zork and all that, he had the 1541. After about, I don't know, a year or two or something, I got a second-hand Commodore, and I bought a new disk drive. It was a 1541-2, Roman numeral 2. It was about half the size, or close to half, maybe like 60% or something. The dull gleaming white that everybody was going in it, those IBM compatible colors and stuff, smaller, and it didn't thud nearly as much. When we would format a disk or something on the original 1541, that sucker would thump. I had no idea a little device could make a loud sound that loud, and it was nightmarish. Okay. Okay, read leaflet, whatever, leaflet. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. It goes to show how long I've played her consistently. Read leaflet, taken. Well, originally we had to type in take leaflet and then read it, because there are certain scenes in the game and certain aspects where you see the sword in the corner of the room. Look at sword. Well, you can't do that until you take it. So then you have to take it so you have it, then to do something to it. So this gives you a little bit of a jump. Jeez, I'm not sure if the abbreviations, we had wait, time passes. Sometimes, you know what, instead of reshooting this video and doing it with a speed duplicated or emulated like it really would, I want to make it drag buttons for every command. I want you guys to feel that organic, that first person perspective, like you're in 1987, and one command with one word with 4 letters wait actually takes 15 seconds for the doggone drive to spin at the computer. That's beautiful. Now the abbreviation for that in some of the later releases of Famicom games was Z. Okay, now this is too much of an old version. Wait a minute. Did I have the thing I want to show? I did I saw in the new ones. Come on. Oh yeah, and right here, this is beautiful. See, I have the little arrow here in the red box. IBM compatible. This was before Bill Gates, when his strategy at Microsoft catered to the business world, got established there, and just grew and grew, and gobbled up everyone except Apple. And when in '97 they bought a big chunk of Apple stock, and they owned part of Apple. You had, I don't know about main players, but I would say half a dozen to a dozen different companies putting out their own machine that were all incompatible with each other. Even when Atari had something out, you had the 400, the 800, and the 1600, and then you had the cassette tape, the data set drives it was called. We used cassette tapes to store our data on. The disk drive, it was 3.5 inch and 5 1/4 inch, or the cartridge. For every computer, or pretty much a company that there was, it was a nightmare. In fact, in Bill Gates' book, The Road Ahead, came out roughly around the same time as Windows 98. Bill Gates said the Unix environment and people in Unix community, I guess, they couldn't agree on standards about how we're going to have one central operating system. They couldn't agree, so they stayed as unorganized, scattered tribes fighting amongst each other, and it all fell to nothing. I say fell to nothing sort of being mainstream, but for those who don't know this, I've been told over and over again, all the main operating things in computers, like the internet, its backbone is Unix and stuff. Crash-prone Windows that would crash on you for no reason at all. It's intolerable in an environment where you're going to have efficiency. Like one guy told me, you have a Linux machine that's been running for 5 years, because unlike Microsoft stuff, you don't have to reboot and shut down and restart every time you so much change the color of your taskbar. And that kind of stupid stuff. And when you need a constant thing going on, you cannot do that. I don't care. Anyway, so Gates said the same thing about Unix and the same thing with these things. I had my Atari 400, and if my mommy, I was 12 years old, no license and all that, was going to Lafayette with a friend of hers, I'd write down or something, or tell her, this game that I wanted to get, the cartridge. Well, she'd say exactly that, and then the guy gave her a disc, which I didn't have a disc drive. Those things were like $200 in their heyday, or worse maybe, but at that point it was like $200. The data set was like $70, just basically a glorified cassette player. So she went back and switched it and stuff, and all kind of nightmare stuff. So you see these labels and some retro stuff. You don't just go punch up a code that you punched up in your credit card or your mommy's credit card if you're 12 years old over the internet, downloading your fiber optic network, and have about 20 gigs of a game downloaded within 30 minutes and start playing. No. In the old retro analog days, it was super nightmarish. I was like packing up the horse and the buggy wagon to go into the village to get some feed. So thing on eBay, I'll call it Zork Zero. This is a prequel. I've never played it. Pretty freaky. This is what I'm talking about. These screens are awesome. It's forced to where you can't move the cursor like way up on the screen and down. There's a point for that. If you did it in a corner by accident, you scoot it all up. You can't do the run, stop, restore or anything like that. The color scheme is amazing. Now, one thing I thought, I can do this in the other one here, but before, you can change the colors in the screen and play Zork like that. So if I wanted black border and black screen with white characters, do it before I do load game, comma 8, and it'll keep that color scheme throughout the game. Okay, let's see something. East. Where are we going? It's going to say, oh, no. South, behind house, or side of house, south of house. And then east is, yeah, you do abbreviations, E for east, that kind of stuff. Those abbreviations existed, but it was G for again, like when you're fighting the troll, hit troll with sword. So you don't have to type the same sentence 7 times in a row, you just keep hitting again or again. Or if you're in some passages, you have to go east 3 times. That would make sense. E is one letter, and then again is the whole word. But anyway, you get the idea. Okay, slightly ajar. Okay, open window. Now, seeing this when I was 12, I didn't know what ajar meant, so you learn things. You can do enter or in. Kitchen. Okay, now, if you do take all, it'll sometimes refer to things in the room that are an object as an object, but you can't have any relevance. A kitchen table, you can't be serious. A brown sack taken, glass bottle taken, quantity of water, I can't reach that because it's in the glass bottle, you know. That's a little vague thing, but some of the more recent games, like in the late 80s maybe, they gave you peace of mind by if something was just like a decoration or would add a little bit of a, I don't know, folklore to the story. Like in Zork, there's some rooms that are caved in. Well, there's no dynamite, so the cave-in is just a fancy way of saying, you know, this is part of the section, you can't get to it. There's been a few times, and I don't think writers do this on purpose, you know, I don't accuse them of being so sadistic, but you can waste a lot of time trying to find a solution to some scenario or what you think a problem might be, but it's just a constant in the game you can't change. So in the more modern versions, they said, that's not important, leave it alone. I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, kitchen. Now, if I go up in the attic, it's dark. And if you get into dark in Zork, you can be eaten by a grue. So I think West was the living room, I was thinking. Living room, there you go. Now this above, okay, you are in the living room, there's a door to the east, a wooden door with strange Gothic lettering to the west, which appears to be nailed shut. A trophy case and the large oriental rug in the center of the room. By the trophy case hangs an elvish sword of great antiquity. A battery-powered brass lantern is on the trophy case. Now this is one cool thing, parts in the game. In fact, some of the more advanced ones, like a sorcerer or something like that, you actually had to sleep in the game, and if not eat. Planetfall, you had to eat, so you had to find food, and if you went so many moves without eating, you died. There's a different take on that with Zork. It was the lighting. If you walk around in the dark, you'll get eaten by a grue. If you have this lantern, it's one of the first things you see in the game, but if you don't discover another light source, which we didn't know existed after a very long time, it'll eventually die out. And there's no new batteries because the battery powered, you know. So, so you would think, well, use the other light sources first, or whatever. We found a torch, which some candles. You gotta use it for some kind of ritual to enter the hell, the Hades. To get crystal skull is one of the trophy prizes, treasures to put in a trophy case. But the torch ran forever. The matches are used, I think it's like the candles and maybe something else. Maybe you could use the matches as a light source, but I think it was like one move before they went out or something. Well, at a point you go into a coal mine, so if you walk in with a torch, or if you light the match in the room, you explode and it kills you. So then the strategy becomes, well, let me have my lantern, go straight to the torch, get it, do the other puzzles first and tasks and all that. But when I have to go back to the coal mine, I have my preserved trophy. I'm looking at the screen here. I'm seeing this. The battery-powered brass lantern. That's pretty cool. All right. Take all. The trophy case. The trophy case is actually fastened to the wall. And that's one thing. This has relevance later on because you have to collect. It says in the game manual, 20 treasures and put them on the trophy case, and then you win. At the end, if I had this correctly, I found out it's 19 treasures, but the 20 of them appears in the trophy case when you have the 19 trophy cases. The manual makes no effort to tell you that. So you might be putting in all your trophy treasures together for 19. I don't know if I had a 20th one, and you could waste 2 years looking for the 20th treasure that doesn't exist. So when you come down, I'll show you in a while. Okay, wooden door, valiant attempt. And the wooden door says this space intentionally left blank. Which I'm not sure if that was done on purpose or it was done. Okay, move the rug. Here's a trap door. So open trap door, because if you put open door, it might say which one, the wooden door or the trap door. Or sometimes you do open all. That might work. Sometimes you can drop all objects, take all objects, that kind of stuff. Oh, wait, watch. Okay, the grue. Your sword is glowing with a faint blue glow. Your sword glows when in danger. I think that was ripped off from Lord of the Rings. But That's not because of that. I'll show you. Okay. The troll room. This is why the sword was glowing, because you were by the troll. Ironically, the sword doesn't glow for warnings about a grew. And I remember that I was describing some gameplay to my cousin's mom, like literally about 20 years ago or more. I told her about the grew. She said, well, my sword should be glowing right now, because if I'm in danger of eating my grew. And I thought that was so cool, because I never quite caught that. I might have, but forgot about it, but it reminded me at a minimum, or just made me realize altogether. Okay. Hit troll with sword. I'm getting nasty here. I'm gonna slaughter some trolls. A quick stroke, but the troll is on guard. Uh-oh. The axe crashes against the rock, throwing sparks. And you can do it again. The force of evil knocks the troll back stunned. The troll is floated against his feet. The troll is knocked out. And get him while down. Boom. Now, the one thing that kind of is lame in this game, at least for this aspect, the rest is pretty much rock, all the mazes and stuff, but it is based on no skill whatsoever other than dumb random luck. Because one of my fellow nerds who was playing this as a kid, when he and I played it together for the first time, he said that troll always just chops my head off, cuts him in half vertically. yeah, it's pretty. It's just text, but you can picture it, and it can be gruesome, you know. There was one time that when I knocked the troll out, I took his axe, I ran to the river, threw it in the river, and the game even specifically said it falls into the water, never to be seen again. And I would try to shove him or kick him or hit him or something, but it would say the troll fins you off with a menacing gesture. You do that too often, and by the fifth try, all of a sudden he has his axe back again. The troll swings his axe at you. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to get him unarmed and, like, you know, kick him or beat him or something, but it didn't work that way. Our first time that we could have gone either way, we went in the maze and we got lost. So I'm not going in the maze. When I get back into the house, I'll dome room, engraving's cave. Then the dome room. Oh wow! It's been this one time I got this for an emulator about maybe a year ago, but other than that I hadn't done this exact sequence in 20 years, over 20 years. Now in the attic we find nasty knife. I have no idea what a nasty knife is supposed to be, but and some rope. I don't know how long ago or how long it took, but it dawned. I'm looking at the text. Dome room dawned on me. Hey, wait a minute. We just have a railing, and we got about 2 feet, 3 feet of walking space. There's a big hollow. What if we tied the rope to the dome room railing? And we did, and we went down. It was when we found a torch to infinite light supply, and because it never dies out, and that kind of stuff. Or maybe it does in some weird case or whatever. But we've never known it to run out, or to even warn us about it going out. The candles do, but not the torch. So that was a text adventure, and everybody says, or the fans like me say, well, it made your mind work and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I got into hardcore gaming too, in first-person shooters, and that's just a whole awesome thing. But I wish more people would see this kind of stuff. I was in the olden days. So, alright, that wraps up the little rundown on a text game, or as comics call them, interactive fiction. So, a little blast in the past. For those of you who are under 30, that's what we had in my day.